Hi everybody, Sharon here. Today we're going to be doing a Bible art journaling page on chapter 2 of the Song of Solomon book in the Bible. And I wanted to do this today because, well, I live in Michigan. Some of you may already know that. And winter has come very late to us this year. We had some spring back in February and March. Kind of a tickle. Excuse me. And then it got to be winter again. So I decided to do this on the Song of Solomon today because this song is a song about spring. And also, being that my name is Sharon, I've just kind of thought it would be fun to do something on this song because it starts out, I am the Rose of Sharon. And the Rose of Sharon is a tree that has these big, pretty rose-like flowers. They usually come out in about, they bloom around July, at least here in Michigan they do, but the bushes can get real big. They can get to be about 12, 14 feet high, and they're beautiful. I used to have one, and one year it just died, so I should get one again. But anyway, I started out by penciling in some trees, and some rocks and hills, and then some more trees in the background there. That's why they're way up at the top of the page, and I'm adding a little bit of a hill in here. I started out with Inktense pencils. I like to put in a little bit of a background of color so that when I add colored pencil, I don't have as much heavy work to do. And I like my pages to stay fairly transparent because I'm going over the writing and I want to be able to read from it. If I use this Bible for reading, usually I use an online Bible app that I have. I use that for school too. But this Bible I just use mostly for art. But I like to be able to go and be inspired by it and read from the pages that have art on them. So here I've gone through, I put in the tops of the trees back in the distance, and then that hill for those little trees way in the background. And then, oops, I'm sorry about the light there. I don't know what caused that. Then I put in some bushes down behind the trees, and I have the sky kind of in between those. As I paint it, it will come together. I'm using a fairly large paintbrush here. It's the Princeton Neptune brush in a size 6. And it's a quill, it's synthetic quill wash brush. It holds a ton of water, so I can add just a little bit of water to this, and I can pretty much paint my whole page because it holds so much. You have to be careful though, but especially with these pages, because if they get over wet, they can get really, really weak. So I try to keep my brush a little on the dry side. Occasionally you're going to see me dabbing it on a paper towel, and that's just to take some of the water off so that I'm not puddling on the page. And now I'm just painting in these bushes that are in the midground. And I use different colors of green so that you can differentiate between the hill in the background and the bushes. At the end, we're going to go back with Prismacolor pencil and put some detail into those so that you can differentiate what is what. This is very, very simple artwork, so if you're not an artist, don't be intimidated by this because it is very simple. Just follow along with me. You can pause the video to catch up. I have it on fast forward so that you're not bored to death. And I did cut some bits out in order to decrease the time on the video and get it down under 15 minutes. I use an iPad primarily for my videotaping, and my DSLR camera doesn't like to focus very well when there's a lot of changes in the scene. It doesn't keep up well, so that's why I use my iPad. It seems to focus a little bit better, but it limits me to 15-minute videos, which is sometimes why you'll see my videos split in half. But anyway, I don't think that going over 15 minutes is a good idea either, because people get too bored with that. I know I do. So now I went back with some grays. I started out with the color neutral gray at the tops of the rocks because they will receive more light from above. And then the darker colors were Payne's gray and charcoal gray that I put down closer to the bottoms of the rocks and for the indentations of the rocks to give them some depth. And now I'm going in with my 0.3 Staedtler pen. It's a 3mm pen, and I'm going in to put in the little marks in the birch trees. Birch trees are a pretty big thing here in Michigan. I know there's aspen trees around. They look very different from aspen trees. They're like white paper. They're really pretty. Here I tried to keep the ink wet enough to go back with my brush before it dried to get the trees to gray down a little bit, and it didn't work, so I kind of dabbed into one of the rocks and used that gray to gray areas of the trees. And now I'm just putting in some flowers, very simple flowers. This is nothing really artistic here, but I didn't want to go around all those flowers that were going to remain white with green, so I ended up putting these circles in so that I could paint around the circles and then later put flowers in those white spaces, which is what I did. Then I went back with a different green just to give it a little more color. I started out with a spring green, which was very light, and then I think I used kelp green to go over that. Or wait, no, that's a Prismacolor. It was more of an olivey color that I went in with the spring green and mixed them together to get this grass color. And you can do whatever you want. It's just what I did. So now as this goes on, I'm just going to go ahead with colored pencils after this. I'm bringing out my Prismacolors, and I'll start drawing in flowers and details. There's my Prismacolor pencils. Still have them in my travel case from going out of town. So while I'm going ahead and putting these details in, I'm going to go ahead and read this Song of Solomon to you. It's very pretty. It starts, I am a rose of Sharon, a lily of the valleys. As a lily among brambles, so is my love among maidens. As an apple tree among the trees of the wood, so is my beloved, amping, I can't read this, young men with great delight. My tree went over one word. I sat in his shadow, and his fruit was sweet to my taste. He brought me to the banquet house, and his intention toward me was love. Sustain me with raisins, refresh me with apples, for I am faint with love. Oh, that his left hand were under my head, and that his right hand embraced me. I adjure you, O daughter of Jerusalem, by the gazelles of the wild, do not stir. By the gazelles or the wild does, do not stir up or awaken love until it is ready. The voice of my beloved, look, he comes, leaping upon the mountains, bounding over the hills. My beloved is like a gazelle, a young stag. Look, there he stands behind our wall, gazing in at the windows, looking through the lattice. My beloved speaks and says to me, arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. For now the winter is past, the rain is over and gone, the flowers appear on the earth. The time of singing has come, and the voice of the turtle dove is heard in our land. The fig tree puts forth its figs, and the vines are in blossom. They give forth fragrance. Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. And it goes on a little bit from there. There's a few more verses. I don't know if I'll have time to finish them. O my dove, in the clefts of a rock, in the covert of a cliff, let me see your face, let me hear your voice, for your voice is sweet and your face is lovely. Catch us, the foxes, the little foxes that ruin the vineyards, for our vineyards are in blossom. My beloved is mine, and I am his. He pastures his flock among the lilies. until the day breathes and the shadows flee. Turn, my beloved, be like a gazelle or a young stag on the cleft of mountains. These songs are so beautiful. It's kind of, I'm stuttering here. It's kind of impressive to me because they, this one is all about falling in love, and there's so many interesting stories in the Bible that sometimes we miss. So I really thought that this one was appropriate for spring, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Now here I'm putting the details in with the pencil over the trees and the grasses, just to give it a little more depth. I'm just scribbling in here, and it just kind of gives the appearance of leaves. It tricks the eye. So I do that here, and then I'm going to do it again in the bushes along the mid ground there. And you can see the grassy hill in the background is kind of left the way it is. And now I'm coming in to write in on the bottom of the page, I am a rose of Sharon, a lily of the valley. There's so much I could have written. I really liked the part in the middle that says, for now the winter is past, the rain is over and gone, the flowers appear on the earth, the time of singing has come. I really like that, and maybe I'll do that on the other page. I don't know. But I am a rose of Sharon meant a lot to me, so that's what I wrote. But you could write anything on your page that speaks to you. Then once I wrote it out, I ended up, putting the kind of calligraphy lines around it so that I could add some color to the letters. So I'll go ahead and do that. Had to dry the ink a little bit. I was worried that I'd smear, so I'm just going in to do that. I hope you all enjoyed this Bible art journaling page with me today, and I hope you could follow along okay. I know I don't do the typical art journaling pages with the words and the stickers and things like that. I'm an artist, so I tend to like to do some simple artwork pages, and I try to keep them at a fairly beginner level so that everybody else can follow along. If there's something you'd like to see me do, please leave comments below and let me know how you liked this page. I'm going to go ahead and make a tab for it. Not sure what I'm going to put on it yet, but I can let you know on my next journaling page. Please like the page if you enjoyed the video. I'd really appreciate the feedback. I don't get much feedback because I'm new on YouTube, so if you could help me out, that'd be great. Spread the word around to your friends who like to do Bible art journaling or even artwork, because I have both on this channel. And please subscribe. Have a great day, everybody, and pay somebody a compliment today and make them smile. Bye now.